Hello viewers and welcome back to another episode of The Screening Room with Adenike. Happy Easter to you guys. I hope you enjoyed spending your Easter holiday with your family members and your friends. And I also hope that you do not forget the reason why we celebrate Easter, the death and resurrection of Jesus. Okay, so make sure to think of that while you're eating your jollof rice and fried rice and whatnot. All right, and also I would like to say a very, very huge congratulations to Nigeria for a successful elections. I know there were news and stories of commotions and tragedies in different places, but overall I thought this election was one of the most talked about elections and one of the most successful elections Nigeria has ever conducted. But overall, congrats to Nigeria once again. It's a new time for Nigeria, and I know Nigeria would get to that place that we are all aspiring for it to get to. Okay, all right, so down to business. I'm gonna go straight into it. The movie I'm talking about today is titled The Antique. It's a brand new Nigerian Nollywood movie produced and directed by Darassi Richards and DJT Films. You're going to love what I have to say about this movie. I absolutely love it. I think you're gonna love it as well. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, welcome back. So The Antique, produced and directed by Darassi Richards and DJT Films. The movie features Oge Indiana, Olu Jacobs, Rykardo Agbor, Bimbo Akintola, Gabriel Afolayan, Kiki Omeili. I mean, a fantastic cast in this film. It was set back in the day about 40 years ago in the Benin Kingdom, in a particular village that was having a prosperous time. Things were going well for them, but then all of a sudden things took a turn for the worse. You know, things weren't going well. The Oba's son was sick and dying, and their crops were dying. You know, things just weren't going well with the village. And so here comes the chief priest, and the chief priest says, okay, this is what the God says. You have to send someone into a particular forest to go retrieve the antique that was stolen from the village years back and all of that. The movie tells us the story of Uki, who had to go through this challenging time in her life because she was chosen to go, and how she faced different challenges and how she went to retrieve the antique, and the what the entire journey was about for her. I'm giving this movie 4/5. I absolutely enjoyed this movie. I loved every minute of it. What I loved about this movie, number one, it was attention grabbing. From the word go, it was engaging. You know, we didn't have to wait and sit back for something to happen. It started happening from the very first scene. So, I mean, you couldn't even get up from your seat because you were already like, oh, okay, what's happening? What's happening? Another thing was that the sound was crisp. It was clear. I mean, even if you have bad sound system, you still enjoy watching the movie because the sound was very clear. You know, I loved that as well. The picture quality was crisp. You know, they had this olden day thing. It wasn't black and white, but then it wasn't like colored either, you know, which gave it a really good effect. I love that as well. And then the cinematography and special effects in this movie was off the chain. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but hey, compared to a typical Nigerian movie, it was really, really well done. I thought DJT Films did cinematography in this movie, and I thought it did extremely well. Another thing was that the soundtrack was beautiful. The music, of course, was by Kobams Asuko. So you can imagine how beautiful the music was. It was very beautiful. It came in at the right places. You know, it wasn't obnoxious like all through the entire movie, but it came in at the right places, you know, and I just absolutely loved that as well. Like I said earlier on, the casting of this movie was fantastic. I love Bimbo Akintola. I love Gabriel Afolayan. I love Rykardo Agbor. I love Funso Adeolu. I mean, there was nobody in this film that I don't think that I had any reservations about. So, you know, the casting was also fantastic. And then the directing of this movie was excellent. The camera angles, the movement of the camera, you know, it was very smooth and it was easy to follow. And I just loved that. It was just very easy to watch. you know. There was also comedy in a few places, but the comedy was very subtle. You actually have to listen and watch to get it. So I liked that it wasn't over the top, but it was at the right places that either made you laugh or made you smile, and I loved that as well. Transitioning from one scene to another was very smooth. It was very easy to follow. It wasn't anything dramatic or something like that. So you know, it was very good. And then another thing that I loved about the film was that the attention to detail was very apt and very on point. Like, okay, so I'll be watching a scene, but then you can still see what is going on even behind the scene. Like, you can see villagers walking around, or you could hear them talking. I mean, those are the little things that movie producers overlook. But in this movie, if you watch it, you almost feel as if you're in that village yourself. So I loved all those things about the movie. However, it was by no means perfect. Number one thing I didn't like about the movie was that the accent, you know, they had to have this Edo accent from about 60 years ago. So, you know, people like Gabriel Afolayan and Bimbo Akintola didn't quite get it. I mean, they tried every now and again, but overall, I don't think they worked hard enough to make sure that their accent was as good as it should have been. I mean, you know, they would say a few words here and there, but overall, they didn't really quite get the accent thing down as well, you know, as they should have. Another thing about it was that the story is not original. Yeah, I mean, it's not original. We've seen it before. Igodo, Egg of Life, you know, just different story. I'm sure there's even a Yoruba movie about it as well, of how, oh, there was something that was stolen from a village and now we have to select people that will go and get it, and they will go and not everybody will come back. You know, there's nothing particularly original about it, you know, which is not a bad thing, but I'm just putting that out there for you guys to know. Number 3 is that there were a few things that were misplaced, you know, so the way, I think in the process of editing, they misplaced one thing. So a scene that we should have seen before, we saw it after, and so you could tell, okay, there was a miscommunication over there. And then number 4 thing, and this is major, guys, this one is major. Number 4 is that the set design. The set design wasn't good enough. It didn't give the feel. It didn't look hard. You know, like there was a time they had to cross over a bridge, and the bridge was literally on top of the ground, like the water, like you could have walked in the water, you know. But it wasn't like high enough. There was no sense of danger. The sense of danger that was there was not enough to elicit that or oh my god, or those kind of reactions out of you. So I think the set design was the biggest thing that I did not like about this movie. They could have worked harder to make that even better than it was. And then there were some scenes that they should have shot at night that would have given us much more goosebumps or whatever if they had shot it at night versus shooting it during the day, you know. And I just felt that they could have maybe switched a few things around to make the movie better. And then last but not the least, the movie was good up until you got to the very last few scenes. You know, like maybe the last 5 scenes of the movie, and you're like, okay, how did we get here? You know, and there was no proper ending. Like, you never find out what happened to the lovers or what happened to the chief priest. You know, they didn't quite end it. They didn't quite finish it properly. But overall, I thought this movie was beautiful, well produced, especially because this is the very first movie for the JT Films and for the Rest in Riches. Kudos to you guys. You guys did exceptionally well. The movie is up on Euroko TV. If you haven't seen it, make sure to go check it out, okay? As always, I'll put the link down below for you guys to just click on it and it will take you right to the movie. All right, so make sure to go check out The Antique 4/5 once again for that movie. I thought it was beautiful, okay? All right, so that's it for today's movie. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and as always, I hope you have a beautiful and amazing week. God bless you. Have a good week. Mwah. Bye-bye.